Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of data structure using C. So through this video we'll discuss the basic data structure or the first data structure, that is your array. But before we'll start array, we should know why or what is the need of array. Okay, so as a programmer, whenever we need to store any value, so we need a variable. It's like suppose want to store one integer value, so I'll declare one variable, I'll store the value. So in the background, what happens actually? So three different things will happen. First, one memory block will be given, then one identifier or the name will be given, and one value will be stored. So three different things are being done in the background. But as a programmer, my requirement will always change. So that means first objective is being fulfilled, that I can store one value in a single variable. But if I want to store multiple values in a single variable, then I may try like this, number equal to 10, with a hope that my number variable can store 5 and 10 both. But what will happen, as there is a single memory location, my 5 will be overwritten by 10, and I'll always access 10 as the value. So that means my requirement didn't get fulfilled. Okay, so one variable can store only one value. Now the question will come, how to store multiple values in a single variable. Okay, and for that array is the solution. Okay, so I have to declare like integer, then the array name or the variable, and then how many values I want to store. Okay, so in the background what will happen, now 10 blocks of memory will be given to me. Okay, the index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then up to 9. Okay, and if the starting block memory is 1000 and as it is integer type, so next block will be 1004, 1008, 1012, 1016, like that. Okay, so that means this is a basic concept, that if you want to store multiple values in a single variable. Okay, so here is the point, single variable. I want to store multiple values in a single variable, then I have to follow the data structure array. Okay, so here multiple values of similar type. This is again one more point you have to understand, that similar type means only integer type value I can store. If I am declaring character array, then I can store 30 values in a single variable, but of single type, that is your character type. Okay, similarly I can store float values in the float array. Okay, so if we'll go into the depth that what is actually array is all about, then we'll learn here that array is nothing but it is a set of finite numbers of homogeneous element or same data items. Okay, so through array we can store multiple values but of similar type. We cannot store dissimilar type of data in a single array data structure. Okay, so it means an array can contain one type of data only. So that is either all integers, all float numbers, or all characters. It depends on the data type how you are declaring one array. Clear? And on the basis of that we can store the values. Okay, so you have to remember the point that through array we can store only similar type of data elements in a single variable. Clear? Now this is how you will declare the array. So how to declare one array? Now you have to specify the data type. Clear? The data type or type of elements you want to store in the array. Okay, now here ARR is the name of the array. Very important point, name of the array or the variable name. Clear? And inside the square bracket you specify how many number of elements you want to store in an array, or how many elements you can store. So that is otherwise is also known as your size or length of the array. So that means maximum 10 values I can store in a single array ARR of integer type. Okay. So we'll see through the example that how we'll declare the array, how we'll take input into the array, and we'll display that one also. Okay. Now coming to the different types of array data structure. So it can be of single dimensional array where you are only specifying one subscript or one size. Second one is two dimensional array, that is the representation of matrix where you have to specify rows and column both. And the third one is multi-dimensional array. Okay. So as for our requirement, we'll just take the example of every data structure related to array. But here one important point, that the elements of array will always be stored in consecutive, which is also known as contiguous memory location. So what do you mean by contiguous memory location? Suppose I am declaring integer array of 5. Okay. So as per our previous discussion, 5 blocks of memory will be allocated to the user. Index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if the memory location is starting from 2000, as for the size of integer, suppose integer size is 4 byte. Now the next block will be 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016. Okay. Let me take one more example, that is my character array. Suppose same 5. So again, 5 blocks of memory will be allocated to the user. Here also, the index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But here, if the starting address is 1000 and size of character is 1 byte, so 1001, 1002, 1003, and 1004. Okay. Now, what is the difference or similarity between these two cases? Even if here I can store only integer values, here I can store only character values. But the similarity is what? That this both dependent on contiguous memory allocation. So contiguous in the sense you find the difference between any two consecutive memory locations. You will get the same value. Okay. You find the difference between any two consecutive memory location of character array. You will get the same value. So this is known as your contiguous memory allocation. All the elements will be stored in consecutive manner, but the difference between the memory locations will always be same. That is dependent on the data type. Okay. So in brief, array follows contiguous memory allocation and the elements will be stored in consecutive manner. Okay. So now let us come to the programming. So we'll write down one program on 1D array. So example of one dimensional array, how to take input and how to display it. Okay. So let me declare one integer array of size 10. Okay. Then I need to declare one size variable. So what is the need of size variable? Now you can experience one thing, or the concept behind is, now whenever I'm declaring integer array of 10, okay, now 10 blocks are given to me. Clear? 10 blocks are given to me. Index is starting from 0 and suppose the last one is 9. Memory location is suppose 1000, 1004, 1008, 1012, 1016, 1020, 24, like that. Okay. Now the requirement of size variable, I can take maximum 10 values, but it is not compulsory that every time I need to utilize the 10 blocks. Okay. So maximum 10 values I can take input. So it depends on the user that out of 10 blocks, how many blocks actually you want to use. Accordingly, we'll take the input for the size variable. Okay. So we'll see through the example. One index variable I am using for loop purpose. So before taking the input into the array, I am asking the user regarding the size of the array. So whatever the user will take input, accordingly the values will be operated. Like suppose if I am taking the size value as 5, okay, so here suppose I have taken the input for the size as 5, so that means I am only interested for 0 to 4. This much actually I am interested to operate. Rest of the memory blocks are available, but I don't want to utilize that one. Okay, it's like suppose we are having 5,000 square feet of plot. Okay, but I want to utilize only 2,000 square feet for building of my home. Okay, so this is not compulsory that the entire 5,000 square feet I'll utilize to build my home. I can utilize maximum 5,000 square feet, but it depends on my requirement. I can utilize 2,000, I can utilize 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, but maximum 5,000. Beyond that, I should not go. Okay. Similarly, if I'm declaring array of 10, then maximum 10 blocks are available with me, but I am utilizing or using a size variable that how many blocks actually want to utilize. Okay. So on the basis of size variable, I'll take input into the array and will display that one. Okay. So whenever I'll take input into the array, the index is starting from 0 because I'll first take input into the 0th index, then 1. So maximum 4. So 4 means this is size minus 1. So instead of taking individual input repeatedly for every block, I'll take the help of loop. So index less than size and index plus plus. Okay, so I'll ask the user enter value. Clear? Now whatever the input the user is providing, that will go to address of array of index. Okay, so let us understand what actually we have written. Clear? Now suppose index equal to 0, size is here 5, 0 less than 5 is true. Done. So enter value. Suppose I am entering one value as 30. Now 30 will go where? I need one address in the scanf. So index is currently 0. So array of 0 is 1000. Okay. Address of array of 0 means 1000. So 30 will be stored at 1000 location. Clear? Next index plus plus, index will become 1. 1 less than 5. True. Again come. Enter the value. Suppose I am entering 60. So where 60 will be stored? It will go to address of array of 1. So address of array of 1 means 1004. So I am specifying that I want to store 60 at 1004 location. So 60 will be stored over there. So till the time the loop will be over. So how many times this loop will continue? The index will start from 0. It will go up to 4. When index will become 5, 5 less than 5 false. So 0 to 4 means 5 different values I can take input and I can store in the memory or inside the array. Okay. So basing upon this input, clear. So I can take the input to the array. Done. So after taking input, now it's time to display. So let's display the values. So we are printing, or we are given the printf statement outside the for loop only because I need to print this statement only once. If I write down inside the for loop, the values will be repeatedly printed. Okay. So again, whenever I want to print the values of 1D array, I have to start from index 0. Okay. And the last index will be less than size. So slash t I have given only for space purpose. Clear? So index equal to 0, 0 less than 5, because size you have considered, for example, 5. 0 less than 5 is true. So enter array of 0 means 30 will be printed. After that index plus plus, 1 less than 5, array of 1, 60 will be printed. So similarly, one by one every element will be printed. Okay. So we have to save the program. Let me clear the screen first. So here, suppose array demo. I am using dev C++, so you have to store in the format of .c. Okay. So now the output screen is coming. Enter the size of the array. Clear? Suppose I am giving 5. Done. So it is asking for value. So 11. The first value I am taking input as 11. Okay. So the next value, so asking for the second time 22, third time 33, 44, 55. Now you check elements of array are 11, 22, 33, 44, 55 because I have taken the size of array as 5. So 5 times it is providing me the input. Okay. Now this is what the simple array data structure, how to declare one array, how to take input and how to display it. By using this concept, we will write down various programs of array in our next videos. Okay. So in a subsequent videos, only we'll focus on the writing of program and every statement will understand why you are writing. Okay. Without understanding anything, we will never write a single line of code. Clear? So I hope everyone has understood and try to write down all the programs and implement. Okay. So two-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array, whenever the requirement will come in our subsequent videos, we'll definitely discuss the example. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching this.